And we're back here with Mirage, second map between these two teams, and after the absolute stomping we saw in Vendetta's map pick, I'm curious to see what we're gonna get from Vendetta, because Nouns, well, they like a bit of Mirage, John.
And MarKE does too. He's got some crazy stats on this map, and well, he's going to be looking to build those right away as they charge into the bomb site on the pistol round. It is a retake setup for Vendetta. They're going to let this bomb get planted.
Retake never exactly fun per se, but I guess at least they've got the bodies up. They're going to try and strike back in from Ticket. No kit. It's not exactly encouraging.
I don't think, yeah, Carson blindsides Tender.
They're running out of time now. They're running out of time. They've got one kill. They spotted a foot and towards Arch, but so many places are still held. And yeah, it's a massacre. Even the wraparound in towards Ticket, there was just no getting away. They could not get the kills quick enough. They had no pressure anywhere else on the map, really. So Nouns just filled every other possible gap, John.
Yep, they absolutely did. What? I mean, I really like the way Carson was lurking towards Cat, right? He just came around that corner. Tender, there's no way he was expecting it, and he took him down just quite easily. And yeah, MarKE with 2 more. And I mentioned his stats were crazy. Yeah, over 2 maps against, not necessarily against Vendetta, but throughout the IM Dallas Close qualifier, he had 59 frags, plus 28 kills to that differential, and 116.4 ADR. He's a monster here. Very scary. You don't want to go up against him, especially when things have not been going your way. A little bit of a cheeky stack here from Vendetta in window, 3 players, but you kind of have to try something given the circumstances. And MarKE gets the opening. AJ probably gets a second, and there we have it.
Yeah, it's a creative idea. I don't mind it at all.
Yeah.
Problem is just now, Nouns have the choice, right? They've used the utility effectively to prevent any of those potential pistol plays from catching them off guard. You know, they have cat control. And, well, they've got everything else, too. MarKE's making some money. Cash money. 3 times 600 dollar signs. And they're going to be very happy about the results of that round. Silver lining for Vendetta? It's already better than Nuke. They've killed a guy.
Oh, that is a very precarious silver lining, let's say. Not really that promising. All right. 2-0 Renounce. Vendetta do have the rifles. Okay, this would be a silver lining, Mike, if they can get around here immediately with the rifles up. So we got 4 A1Ss and an A4. Maybe more than the silver lining. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Well, B site's completely open. Vendetta have a bit of a gap in their defense, let's say. Consti will close that gap very shortly, and luckily for Vendetta, Nouns decide not to end up towards the B site. Weird spacing for Vendetta, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, they've just let them through. Silas is at least going to get one. He's traded. The bomb is dropped. Now the trap somewhat springs. No use smokes here is a bit of a mistake made by Nouns. They had to win that fight, and they did indeed. Rifles triumphing. Nouns wanted to take the element of surprise. They'd gotten up so far without the util that they wanted to try and keep things secret. Keep it safe, but it did leave them very vulnerable. Jungle being taken here. At least net something, but they were hoping for the frag, and both the players' positions are known. CJ, ripper of a fight taken, and they lose the cap presence. It's all on a consti. He can't stop the bomb from crossing. Now the Palace player
HP combined
might be able to keep Carson safe. It's all about the headshots here. It's all about the headshots, and CJ's good for it. Consti trying to find the gap, but hesitant about facing, and Nouns somehow pull that one back.
That was a 3v5, right?
That was a 3v5, yes.
Wow.
3v4,
or maybe 3v4.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Because there was the trade.
Either way. Wow. I mean, some wicked shots being hit by CJ and Carson. Really nice stuff. Not to mention, at the end, they had 11 HP combined. I mean, if just a great shot connect, that makes it easy. 1v1, but had nothing. Both players survive, and they move forward here. So Carson, along with heroes on the death column. Get it back to the fifth up here. It's going to be 3 Deagles, the 5-7, and the USP. MarKE. He's working his way towards that B site. Loves to lurk in this position. And he could have a fight on his hands very shortly. Cxzi, only a USB. Pop Carson's caught out here at mid. He could go down, and that would be a free AK upgrade, and he does. Silas, oh, luckily for now, Cynic does close that gap, and CJ comes up from underpass, so no AK handed over.
And it goes from good to better if you're a Nouns fan, because just one by one, their enemies are falling. They're fighting everything. Again, not really concerned with the bomb. They had plenty of time to go back and plant it if something had gone a little weird, but Nouns are just flush with confidence. They take every fight that's available to them, and, well, with a 4-0 hot start, how can you blame them?
You really can't. Really can't. I think they've played Mirage 5 times against Vendetta. Won 4 of them. Mirage stats are great as well. Yeah. Well, Consti has the off now. Oh, Carson flashing himself out, or I think he got flashed by Vendetta. Yeah.
Yeah, there's been chains of flashes in here, but that's going
Yeah.
to push him up into the smoke. This might actually work in Carson's favor, because they're dumping utility top mid, but they don't realize this is such a bold angle. It's such a bold fight, and he is going to give it up. Okay. Not quite insane enough to just keep fighting here, but it did bleed a ton of utility for Vendetta that did not get them a lot in turn. Some damage done on the bwills here. An early skirmish, and there's the first blood. More like that. Oh, I was going to say don't expect the top mid presence, but it works out. What a turn there for Chop. That could have sent the round tumbling in a very different direction. Instead, now, it's looking comfortable for Vendetta. Pressure on the bwills. He would like to do some damage. Round win, not looking likely. A kill or two. Ooh, gonna make it painful for Vendetta. There's a gap in that smoke. There's a big old gap in that smoke. 10 bullets in the gun. And Cxzi will play the gap expertly. So 3 players survive. It's not catastrophic. 1 extra kill does help keep the pressure on. And with plenty of money flowing on the other side, Nouns bringing that pressure right back up.
Well, I mean, good news for Vendetta. They didn't have to wait 11 rounds before finding their first here, like on
Yeah.
Nuke, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that was a pretty convincing hold. Nouns, see, that's the problem, right? They like to go back into fights and re-peak, especially once they find 1 frag. But in that situation, they found 1, and then 3 players re-peak, and 3 players dropped down by the wayside. So Vendetta winning those fights. And now Nouns decide, you know what? We haven't seen the B site pretty much at all yet. Let's have a peek.
G, well placed, but now they're past the choke point. Cxzi has to hold up here. He's got the op to support, and that op's going to strike. Going every which way. The flanks develop. Silas has found massive contribution off of that, and they section in Nouns for once getting outpaced by the other side. That's great play from Vendetta.
Wow. Alrighty then. Yeah, I think Nouns maybe a little bit of overconfidence in their play, just trying to charge out there from the apartments, but Vendetta completely outplaying them. Great job holding on that B site. 3 players ended up being there to greet the Nouns squad, and a great read from Vendetta in general.
I think what you're seeing here is Nouns are going to be forced to really slow down the pace of play and play a bit of a more passive default. This round's not going to be it. It's a mixed buy, so it seems like they're probably just going to execute on towards A and see what they get. But this aggressive posturing for Vendetta, consistent mid-contest, utility being dumped early on, it's really set to disrupt the pace of play that Nouns like going for.
Absolutely. They've even slowed it up a little bit here, but I don't think by much. Eventually, they're going to push out Tender. This is what This is what Nouns want. They want Tender to push out, and Tender actually doesn't. Falls back. Carson gets the opener, though. Can he get the follow-up? Yes! 2 frags apiece for each side, and the smokes are up for now. So they could get the bomb planted here at the very least. And Cxzi, extremely exposed in that gap in the smoke, goes down to 21.
It's vulnerability for sure, and extra guns picked up. Concerning factor, especially with no control here. Towards CT. Strong position for the op to play from. MarKE strikes first. 60 now to play. Silas and Chop, what do you got for us? Chop went on the long flank, but it didn't catch them anything. It might retrieve a kit at the very least, but that's not going to be the difference maker here. They need to get onto this, and it's all just left to Chop. His position known, the information compromised, time running out. So many grains of sand through the hourglass. Bit of an ambitious face, but he's lost the round and he knows it. considering what they brought into this. Nouns are going to be laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah, just that lone AK, but it did get a couple of frags. I mean, so much value for what they brought into the round. And, well, they also get that 5th on the board. Economy is flowing for them. They're going to have AKs across the board. And they go at it again. MarKE, 9-4, already almost at 10 frags. And we're only into round number 8. Vendetta still have a full-on buy-up coming through here, but their economy's been drained to get it. Molotov's going to get thrown for top mid. And you mentioned it, they are playing mid very aggressively. You can see it again here. They had 3 players peeking out in the early moments.
I really want to fight Nouns on that. Knowing that if they allow Nouns control of mid, it can be a tough fight to recover.
It's hard to sustain this type of aggression through.
Consti opping, that's a big catch, because otherwise Cxzi's hung up to dry. Still past the angles, but they're committing into this. They didn't realize. Cxzi not getting the comms, perhaps, but Consti is still finding the damage that they need, and he'll keep things in their favor. And this is good, because the utility is very threadbare at this point. You got 2 mollies, you got no smokes. They committed a lot in the mid fight, but it was well worth it to net an advantage. And look at this push from Vendetta. They're taking space in towards A ramp. That's going to make them feel more comfortable about keeping this presence on B. Shop, though. Oh, no. An info clear. Now he's going looking. Is he going to get caught? No. A just-in-time spots a shoulder just in the nick of, and he's got to get out the window, and he does. A little risky there. A little concerning, but all good. And the op to finish it all.
Well, that's a fortunate sequence of events for Chop, right? He gets the information and the frag stuck in the windowsill a little bit, but once he drops down from, he's like, oh, hey, there's someone here, and gets another frag for himself. So nice little round from Vendetta. They don't let the previous one phase them too much. And now they've got 2 out of the last 3 for, I believe, only the 2nd time, maybe, throughout this series. Oh boy. Well, either way, Nouns are going to be stuck onto pistols. It's going to be 2 Tech 9s, a Deagle, and a couple of Glocks. Still have the lead, 5-3, but it's just good to see some life from Vendetta.
Shot. After the first 2. And he's looking good. He's looking polished. He's looking poised. We saw a lot of that from Chop.
Yep.
In the qualifier. We've seen a lot of it recently.
Chop's good. He's always been good.
Always have. Nice to see. Good luck, CJ. Number 36. Any damage here would be nice for the long game. And he will find some. On 4 HP, though.
He's still got a lot of time, too.
He does, do. He's got Silas down to half. Oh, knows where Silas is. Knows that nade hit. Just a little tease of a barrel. A little tease. Just gonna wait to see if Silas gets curious. About 40 seconds he could wait here. But his attention span will not hack that. He's gonna go try and find something. He's gonna wander in an op crosshair at some point here. Moving a muscle.
Yeah.
And there we go. Oh, it was actually tender.
Yeah, it was tender.
For some reason.
No, maybe it was at one point, but no. It's tender. So
I mean, that low HP might as well be an op, right?
Yeah. Two rounds in a row. 4 total for Vendetta. And Nouns, they do not want to take their foot off the gas pedal. They are going back to the rifles. 3 Galils, 2 AKs, good amount of utility. So I guess not too bad of a buy-up. The only problem is 3 Galils versus AKs. But in some cases, you know, they can make it work. We've seen it before many, many a time. Galil becoming more viable a few months ago. It's been a while now, actually. But either way, nade's going to get tossed here for top mid. And Vendetta continue that mid aggression. But Cynic finally finds one. That's towards the A side. In fact, ticket player down. That means that Tender is exceptionally vulnerable. He needs support from Silas, who's committed towards mid. And now he has to focus his attention there as well, because Carson gets Cxzi and Cynic drops Tender. It's all over here.
The first domino falls against them and everything tumbles afterwards. It's a clean sweep for Nouns. Just one thing. The foundation of their house of cards comes down, and immediately everybody else panics, right? You get the info swing in towards A ramp, deleted. You get the aggressive play in mid, deleted. You get the face around, deleted. Disastrous. Absolutely disastrous there. As soon as they lose consti, they panic.
Just when it starts to look good for Vendetta too. Oh, well, they do have consti with the A1S. Stuff if he had the money to do so. Everyone else on to pistols. In fact, Cxzi and Tender are the only ones to upgrade. Chop and Silas stick with dry USPs. Tender looking for some action towards mid. Now they're even more heavily stacked into that mid fight. 4 players committed to it. No one really on A except for Tender at connector.
Tender even had a good idea there. Didn't realize the second player was on. Now 2 bodies dropped. We already weren't expecting much from this round, but it's not looking like we're gonna get much, barring consti going absolutely super simple now. And he's even making something about Balin. That was a commitment and a half with the 1 rifle. So he will burn alive.
Yeah, he had the money to do it. I think that's why.
Yeah. The problem is just 1 kill onto a T-set economy doesn't really matter. So, you get it. But the reality is the Nouns are already up to 7 on Mirage. And your money is not great here, so a lot's going to be bet into this round by Vendetta.
Mike, he made that swing expecting 4 frags, you know? It just didn't happen.
I think genuinely in the time that it would take him to get 4 frags, he would have burned alive in that Molotov.
Probably. I'm just trying to, you know, get into his mindset.
Headshots? I'm thinking about it now. If they were perfect headshots, perfect spray transfer, it doesn't even tap. Maybe? But that's not going to happen.
No, it didn't at all. I was mostly joking. But
we should do a Mythbusters. Can you ace a team if they don't line up with headshots spray transferring with an A1S in a Molotov?
Oh, man.
CS.
You're making me curious.
Probably.
I feel like yes, if you're a robot.
Now, look, this is a huge... Oh, gun barrel spotted. Goodbye, Silas. A little awkward repositioning, but Carson gets away with it. And goodbye, Silas. It was all just to get back kill. As soon as he spots the barrel, that's the problem with the A1S. Such a long boy. Just a little extra length on that silencer giving you away. And, Chop lost on towards B. Now this softens up the B side of the map. The kill on A likely going to prompt them forward. Control here from jungle, so the rotations are at risk. But CJ's a little ambitious. He's still going to get it. He's still going to get it. He's still going to catch 1. Off the second. But it does mean that the player is known to be isolated. And this bomb's going down. So with money being putrid, do they want to risk this? Do they want to risk this retake? The answer seems to be no.
Yeah. It should be a firm no. Oh my goodness, consti. Get out of there. He gets naded down at 39, and he will save the op and the AK. It's just too valuable at this point. Yes, you're down by 4 rounds if you give this to Nouns, but it's still a deficit that you can come back from. Don't have to push the panic button here and try for a retake. That could go well, but, you know, it's unlikely.
That last round marked a huge philosophy shift for Vendetta, right? They didn't fight for mid at all.
Yes.
Not even, you know, they went lighter on the presence for mid. They didn't fight for mid at all. They invited Nouns in, and Nouns punished them for it. Carson, he's a guy who is just going to eat up as much of the map as you will give him for free, and you saw it in that round. The killing towards connector, that sends your rotations into disarray. It leads to just complete chaos within. It's always the risk. It's going to be a save here around the AWP and the AK. What can they get with these 2 save guns, John?
A lot. Maybe. If they're in the right place.
Double smoke into window. A little bit of miscommunication there. Or just making sure that the molly doesn't catch them off. Anyway, first kill found. Op smoked off. They know where it is. Pressure in. Chop. And chop. 5-7 clip time. Oh, there's the first. There's the first. Oh, only the first. Nice ambition, though.
Cynic's lucky MarKE was covering there.
Yeah. Maybe saved by the situation, but consti with an op. And likely not even going to be able to save, knowing that Carson's potentially at his back. His position's been known. Carson will press forward. They do not want to let him save this big green. Oh! Oh, but he'll make sure they let him. They'll make sure he gets this. He's out of here.
They're chasing. They have so much money. They're going to try and take him down. Look at Cynic hightailing it here towards the A site with the op. He's trying to hem him in, make sure that he can't get out from Ticket. Meanwhile, his teammates are going to go through the broken wall and from the B site, and that is going to be that. Cynic finds him, and no gun saved.
Uchimama. An op actually does come out, but it's an investment. No head armor, no utility, just an AWP and a vest.
Oof.
Well, we're coming to the waning moments of the half. Only 2 rounds yet to play, and Nouns looking for double digits once again. It was 11-4 on Nuke. Did he just throw an extra AK out of the map?
Yes, he did.
Huh? Someone just missed
accidentally bought an AK. Yeah. Might have been Carson himself because he's down to $0.
Well, it happens. Sometimes you hit the wrong bind. It's okay when your teammates have 10K.
It could have also been a miscomm, right? Because he was so low on money. Maybe someone dropped for him and he didn't hear it, and then he bought for himself. So, yeah.
Either way, it will not matter.
Nope, not at all.
Fortunate position. Rich, just get rich. Just burn AKs. They say reduce, reuse, recycle. Carson, he doesn't listen.
Well, he does get an opening frag. And that will make things a little bit easier here for Nouns.
I know what it is. He actually just wanted a fresh rifle every round. He said, this one's already been fired. I can't use it. I need a mint condition rifle for mint condition frags. And it seems like a lot of those are coming through. A swing mid tender, though. He tests the molly to do so, and a 1-for-1 exchange there is just not good enough. So again, we asked the quandary of how many kills could you theoretically get before you burn alive on a Molotov, and the answer is 1 in that situation. Silas can catch the timing. Oh, he's got 2. Shish kebabs him. That just brings it back to an even situation. They know Silas is off the site, so they're going in towards B. MarKE's finding the space. The bomb is going to be planted. Silas coming back to bear, this time with the AWP. The bomb hasn't dropped yet. Ooh, I don't know if Carson just saw that. Seconds and inches. That's how the game of Counter-Strike is played, and MarKE finds the right inch to stand on. Silas. What can he do? Already found 2. Needs to be the hero here. It's a crossfire, though, and MarKE's good for the last.
Oh, MarKE's just so good on this map. 15 frags there. Not to mention, it's the second time he saved his teammate. This one was a far more critical situation. 2v2 thanks to Silas's great peek towards mid, and he gets Silas before he's able to take down his teammate. I think it was Silas. Either way, one of the Vendetta players takes him down, makes it a 1v1, a 2v1, and then MarKE pulls it off as the last man standing. So, 10-4 in favor of Nouns. 15th and final round of play here in this first half. And while it did look good for Vendetta very briefly, Nouns quickly started to shut them down. And it looks like this round will be more of the same. Cynic gets a 2K. Silas and Cxzi are dropped. Tender is on notice. Carson drops consti. There goes Tender, Mike. It's pretty much over.
Bomb has been planted.
Well, 11-4. Seemingly what we're going to get here again. As Vendetta, wondering if they're stuck in some sort of bizarre deja vu type scenario. And indeed, that won't change as we head to the half.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
11-4, reminiscent of nuke domination from Nouns, though this time at least Vendetta started the contest a bit earlier on still.
Yeah.
They're going to need a lot more than anything we've seen so far this series if Nouns aren't just going to walk away with this one. And, well, it starts with this pistol. Flashbang's on. bwills collects the first kill. Carson has been able to stay there for way too long. And CJ under the balk. They didn't read his spot at all. They were so focused on Carson. Now Chop alone. Just trying to plant this bomb. And meanwhile, the CTs are wasting no time moving into the retake. Chop under pressure. Reload off at least. But, oh, he is erased. And if we had any doubts in our minds that Nouns were in full control here, Nouns have just erased them.
Man, when the confidence is flowing for this squad, it's just unbelievable. There's zero hesitation, right, in going for that retake. They both charge on forward, wide swinging around towards the site from Palace, and just beautiful stuff. 12-4 for Nouns. 4 more rounds, and they'll be done here. Yeah, I mean, the thing for Nouns in the previous map was, yes, you're winning. I think it was actually 12-3 anyway. 11 or 12 rounds in that first half on the favored side. This time they do it on the slightly unfavored side of Mirage, right? And they get 11. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be tough here for Vendetta. And now Consti's going to go down to 79 HP. They are forcing up. Trying to get this done off of that bomb plant. CJ waiting right on the A site proper. He's got one player near him, that's bwills, but it's going to take a bit of a swing once first contact comes here for bwills to actually support CJ in his efforts.
Coming through, flashbangs, decent. No bloodshed just yet. Consti may be dripping a little bit here and there. But that's going to be the first contact taken, and it's Carson way in the back lines. That's a bit of a nightmare fight to take, but overextension here. Cxzi ready for it. Drop his old comrade and find a gun for his efforts. It's looking a little bit better here, especially now that Chop finds more. Nothing gonna work. Chop's just clearing out the A site. Why not? The bomb's gonna make its way over, and a bit desperate now for Nouns. Clear out one and upgrade off of that, but this retake is unappetizing. Cxzi is low. That makes it a lot more viable, John, but they don't have kits.
Yeah, I mean, 60 at 13 certainly makes it viable, but you're right. There aren't any kits available for Nouns. The money's not great. That's finally something for Vendetta to write home about, as they're going to pick up a 5th. And Vendetta, sorry, Nouns are not going to challenge at all here.
No, forced by successful. That's even better than winning the pistol round. Two rifles taken into the next, but there will be very little put around them. It's going to be a double eco situation, so you'd imagine they dump what little they have, get 5.7s and Deegs. And certainly this Nouns team is not without fangs in such a round. But Vendetta might just get a chance to actually build into this game.
Yeah.
Scout drop
Gonna force
over.
up.
Yeah, of course. Double eco.
Yeah.
Got to do it. Got to get spicy with it.
Why not? And
It's Nouns. They never seen a force by in like John.
Exactly. I was just going to say they're actually really good on rounds like this. So do not write them off at all. Especially Cynic, but that's the head. Okay, getting close here. He ran.
Oh, there you go.
Utility out. He goes down. 60. Also, CJ in the time, and now Chop is taking care of bwills. This is all Vendetta.
This is how they do it. They pick up the pace. They bring the fight straight into Nouns, and Nouns again left to think about the possibility of a save. MarKE's going looking, and actually, as he gets hunted, if he could drop an extra gun, that would be a heck of a boon to Carson.
Yeah. Thing is, one thing that I've liked from Vendetta on their T sides is when they're taking that aggression, it's working well for them, and they seem to have realized that, yeah, they're keeping Nouns a bit off balance when they go for quick takes, so they continue to do so. Eventually, though, you have to be careful because Nouns are going to realize they're going to play a little more passive, they're going to get that utility thrown out, and then you won't really be able to do that type of strategy on a consistent basis. I'm sure Vendetta are wise to do that, though, and they won't fall into that trap. Buy up, and MarKE does get that frag mic. Unfortunately, Carson's not alive to pick up the gun.
He was about to get flanked. Consti was racing for the last kill. MarKE lives.
MarKE 19-6.
He's only got 6 deaths? All right,
Yeah.
every round that Vendetta win, they've got 1 MarKE death. And he even lived through that one, so. The unkillable man.
He loves playing here.
Minimal investment here. He's gonna rip a nade. Nades. Oh. And the MarKE behind it. That's a second gun
That's a
picked
gun,
up. They're
yeah.
just gonna flood in towards B. It's a vacant site. They still shouldn't be very viable. But some upgrades, at least, on deck.
They're going to go for this.
Yeah, I mean, they've got to buy in the next, so they're looking to group. All mass move in with the pistols, see what they can do. Cynic in the ladder, if they overextend, the chance to make things a little bit more costly. The one thing is, of course, it would be nice for MarKE to live. His armor, rifle, could buy an AWP potentially in the next round. So they're playing for exits.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're not going in. They don't have the kit, so they just wanted to try and find an exit or maybe keep Vendetta on the site and make them lose all their guns. Tender takes down bwills. Again, the most important thing, don't let MarKE die. Don't let the Galil go down. Uh-oh, there goes the Galil. And, well, maybe CJ will be able to pick it up. No, he got the AK instead, and Carson's dead. Oof. Well, I mean, like you said, they can still buy up in this next round, but it would have been nice to keep the 2 rifles carried forward into this one.
It would have been an AWP regardless, though. So
Yeah.
that is good to know. Unless MarKE got a kill, which is why he's sticking around. An extra $100 was the difference between an AWP or not, or $300 as the case may be. Still, rifles up fully. A single kit as well for CJ. Luxury of saving a gun. We'll help him out with that one. The AWP up on the other side. Vendetta starting to look more and more stable. Only a 5-round gap now. That'll change before your eyes, before you know it. Oh, player in the smoke. Player in the smoke. bwills has swapped spots. He's got the kill, but Consti? Consti? Yeah, that one was risky. Clear on the first. Trade at least, but it's all alone to Cxzi, and he's been swept away. The guns come out, and the mercy ends on the part of Nouns.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the true test for Vendetta. Hey, look, Nouns finally have a proper buy-up. But it wasn't even the full buy-up because Cynic had to sell it for from us, and they still completely blow them away. Cynic does have the op now, and it's going to be a couple of AKs that were picked up by Nouns, the A4 and the A1S. Over on Vendetta, yes, they still do have a buy-up coming through, but Consti looked like a deer in headlights at one point there in that round. He got stuck in a really bad spot. He shouldn't have been there for that long, and then goes down as a result. Tender hovering around here towards the A ramp. He's really the only player in this position. Everyone else going for either mid control or into the apartments. Couple of players top mid here. Nouns, well, they always like to play towards mid and aggressively here on their CT side. That is no surprise. And they try to, but don't really get much. In fact, MarKE eats some utility and goes down to 56. Molotov's going to fly into window, and now Nouns are likely going to have to rescind control of mid to Vendetta.
That they are, but it did cost a lot of utility for either side. No conclusive information yet. The smoke fade's going to be huge. I'm going to go through it. Is there a flashbang for it? No, they're just playing the fade. Does he realize? Oh, he did hit a player with that smoke, but I don't know if he realized it in time, didn't process it. He gets the edge. That's looking good, at least for the moment, but here's the proof in the pudding to hit in towards A. CJ is going to try and find some damage as they make their way out onto the site. And this jungle control could be massive. Molotov wasted. Are they past this smoke? They are. G2 deep. We're at a weird ceasefire right now. CJ's used that opportunity to get out very aggressive.
The barrel?
I think so. Now they do. Now they know. What are you going to do? CJ's just going to kill too. Why not? Swinging. And reinforcements there. Do they expect Carson to be on the same angle? Oh, I think he was just spotted. He was indeed. Consti got it. MarKE way off in the sunset. Plenty of time to plant the bomb, and MarKE, this is going to be a tough ask to get him in the angle. Never expected Chop to be so close.
Yeah, I mean, a great flash from Carson to make that a little bit more viable for Nouns, but Vendetta answering the call again and again. In those moments where in the previous rounds, Nouns were really sweeping them away, and once the first frag came through, once that first response from Nouns came through that really challenged Vendetta, they kind of crumbled. This time, doesn't happen. They stand tall, they get their trades, and they continue on forward, take that site. So, 13-8, Vendetta have looked pretty solid so far on their T side. At least compared to their CT side, they've already equaled the amount of rounds won on their CT side here. And this one's likely a throwaway round, just pistols for Nouns.
Never count it completely done till it is, but yeah. It looks pretty done. Oh, Footy just got spotted. Consti looking at some toes. That's a bit of an overextension, but he trusts Cxzi to keep him safe and well. It's a risky prospect. It'll be a-okay. Some almost kills.
Yeah.
Almost don't matter here, John.
They do not indeed. MarKE, what's he gonna do? What are you gonna do, Mr. MarKE? You got a deagle, you got no armor, you got no util. $700, you could save it, or you could try finding some heads. It looks like he wants to find some heads. Let's Chop is gonna push this angle. MarKE.
I mean, the dig does not matter.
Yeah, get some shots. I don't know what his plan is here.
There's the plan, and one. All right, nothing substantial, but hey,
Yeah.
at least a little bit of limiter. I mean, extra $300 into the next. Maybe that's a smoke. Maybe that's a grenade. Maybe that's something useful. See if he drains it all the way. Either way, just a 4-round lead for Nouns, but the rifle's back up here. That's the key piece. The AWP is out as well. Curious to see where Cynic's going to play. If he's going to face in towards mid, play Ticket. They do like to play that AWP towards Ticket quite a bit. What's he doing? Oh, mid it is. A little bit of a face. A little bit of utility. And a fast play towards B. My goodness, they're coming quick. What's Carson got to stall this out? Just a smoke. No Molotov means... Oh, now that he's spotted, he's got to get back. bwills gets the opening frag, but Carson's under pressure, and MarKE gets here in the nick of time. Saves his teammate, but he can't keep him alive for long. There's too much pressure coming into sight. Now, though, the reinforcements are here. The cavalry has arrived, and MarKE, he's just trying to draw focus. His teammates from MarKE can swing, and MarKE! The transfer, the control, it's a thing of beauty.
Jeez, unreal stuff coming through from MarKE. They drop down, they challenge, and that was a critical fight too, because if MarKE goes down, then the site is so much more vulnerable, because the only other player was from MarKE, and he wouldn't have visibility when that bomb is planted. But MarKE doesn't go down at all. In fact, he doles out the damage with that toucan. Nouns are right back to their winning ways. 14 rounds on the board, 2 more rounds. This series is donezo. Molotov gonna fly in here towards T-ramp. Vendetta do still have enough in the tank to get a full-on buy-up. Consti looking with the AWP, hoping to find a target and get that opening frag delivered to his team. CJ, oh, I think his head was spotted by Consti, so we saw the util as well. One way or another, his position is known.
This is pretty much what Vendetta has tried to do every round. Get 60 top boxes. And Nouns are really not interested in letting him live this time. He's got Silas for support. Is that enough to keep him up? Nades in. Molotov going to force him wide. And there's the kill. But a damage at least before he goes down. Now Silas follows him into the grave. And yeah, that's going to get checked in a big way. Looking for a series point now are Nouns. Looking to secure their spot in the playoffs of this season of Challenger League. And 2 more kills. We'll see them on the way. bwills preemptively firing. It's come down to just Consti. He's naded to oblivion. They just need 1 more round here, John.
Yeah, and it feels like, anyway, that they're going to get it. But, look, Vendetta have had their streaks, at least here on Mirage. Maybe they got 1 more in them. There's a bit of a problem, though. Just a tiny one. They don't have enough for any rifles into this round. So, they're going with the Tech 9s. 4 of them, and a deagle. Util's good, but that's it. Let's see. What's this going to yield? Push to the A site right now wouldn't be too bad. Obviously, the Molotov stopping them over on the ramp, but now smoking the Palace, and oh my goodness, CJ's timing is perfect. The nade comes through as well. That should do a little bit of damage. It does. CJ's going to toss a Molotov onto the site. Their flasher Vendetta. Down's coming through, Mike, and Cxzi gets 2. 1 with the Molotov, 1 with the tech. It's not over yet.
No, that was a little ambitious. These aren't good. The flashbang in, that's lethal. Cynic's down for the count, just 2 remaining. Carson and MarKE. Vendetta pressure. That's a big kill. Spots a player getting back in towards ramp. They have to go back for the bomb, but that's a massive find for Chop. Carson's aim is off. Where do they take the bomb? Knowing
Looks
the position
like
of
B?
MarKE, they are doing this. They control the rotation, right? They've got the murder hole angle. Chop's position, and MarKE knows it. He spotted a player going back ramp. MarKE's processing right now, but he should have a pretty good idea that they're going towards B. He can isolate this fight in the meantime. It's not a bad effort. Set himself up a 1v2 in the retake, but recognizing that potential, Tender's getting the heck out of dodge. Good play from Tender.
He needs to get a gun too, and he does. So that will likely be it. Tender hanging around here. MarKE spotted out his head.
MarKE saving is not a bad play.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Nice shot.
Especially if he gets an extra. The money is very strained for the T side. MarKE will be able to drop over towards Cynic. It's not bad at all. But Vendetta at least get to stay alive because that was looking disastrous, John.
Such a bleak round. Yeah, going into this, they had to invest every penny they had just to get Tech 9s and a decent chunk of util. And the util was the right investment. Sure, they could have had an SMG there, but instead they say, no, we need as much util as possible. Let's just go Tech 9s, a Deagle, and hope that this will work out. And it absolutely does. I mean, I think Nouns a little over ambitious in one of their plays, right? Where two players go down, Cxzi gets one in the Molotov, the other one with the Tech 9. But you still got to give credit to Vendetta. That was a really nice execute.
Yeah, I mean, live by the sword, die by the sword, right? And Nouns, they like to go for the lethal blow when they sense an opportunity. MarKE, speaking of lethal blows, has delivered 29 of them to only 9 deaths. Man's looking for the 30 bomb in this round. And not sure Vendetta's going to be able to keep him from getting it.
I'd be very surprised.
They've abandoned the mid presence. It's going to be the straightforward A play. CJ a little bit more committed this time around, and Cynic close to support. The flashes are good. CJ under a hail of white. Can't see anything. Cynic trying to peek out, but it's not damage. No kills. bwills on the angle, swept away. This round's over.
Wow.
Merciless. Merciless. That's the way to do it, Vendetta. They just need 4 more. Pressing for overtime. Now, I'm starting to believe.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, that simple A hit again is what works for Vendetta. I love that they went back to it because they recognize, look, guys, we're in a tough position here. We need to win every single round just to have a chance of sending this to map number 3. Not even win the series, just sending it map number 3. We got to go for that simple play again. And man, it was a perfect call. Nouns just not expecting it. That hail of flashbangs too. It kind of feel bad for CJ because he couldn't see much when they were coming through. And now MarKE gets spotted out here. Just USPs. And MarKE wins that battle. What? They are not going to stop him getting 30 in regulation, Mike. He gets it, even with a USP and no armor.
Man's going to get his numbers. Still. No 1B. Apartments. Should be targeting one threat. Cxzi overwhelmed 1 for 1. I am starting to get just a little concerned. Unarmored, even with the gained rifles, though. Probably going to want to play the long game here. And indeed, with bwills backing away, that telegraphs it. They're going to keep these rifles up. They're not going to contest this particular battle, but rather the war.
So, this is getting interesting.
It is.
Seemingly out of nowhere, right?
Yeah, it was dire. It was disastrous. Sometimes when your back is against the wall, that's when you fight the hardest. Apparently that's been the case for Vendetta.
Series point again here for
No
Nouns.
Again.
Yeah. Not even the chance to get a glass cannon. Just not enough cash in the bank to go for that. Cynic, is he thinking about going for a lighter buy to get the op in the next round? No.
No, the utility is the preference. That makes sense. I mean, it is interesting, right? Cynic, a player who for a long time was so versatile, he has become more consistent with the op, but I think the flip side is become a little more dependent on his impact from his positions with that AWP, and he hasn't had it much.
No.
Oh, this is going to be a pallet flood. There's a player under balcony. This is perfect positioning, but he needs support.
Good
CJ.
trade.
Only getting one, but Carson's here now,
Oh.
and that bomb is dropped. It's out in the open. Once he smokes Bane, they're going to be in trouble. They need some kills to come their way, and Carson, he just keeps collecting. Out into Sandwich. That was bold. All onto Consti now. He'll take the first. 2 more to find. Plenty of time, but they know where he has to end up.
Yeah. If Consti has the bomb in this situation, entirely different story. But
No, ramp.
this-
Okay. Full rotate. bwills tucked under the balk.
Where is Cynic going?
Cynic thought he might be rotating top mid and wanted to be able to get the swing when he gets the footsteps here.
Yeah,
But
but
it's very far. It leaves bwills on a bit of an island.
yeah, exactly.
Which
That
doesn't matter if bwills
Okay.
just headshots Consti. Oh, good there. Full control for the Nouns. Bit of a wobble at the end. Bit of a wobble. But all good. Full control from Nouns all the way through. They will be moving into the playoffs of this season. They can no longer be removed. They've secured their spot, and they're looking like a team that's really going to threaten to go all the way this season.
Very, very scary team. Like that score, that record's going to be deceiving. I think they'll end up at